Hello everybody, Mr. Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Endwalker. In the last episode, we're working on our project of trying to open a giant void gate on the moon. And to do that, we're going to need access to the Tower of Babel and access to a large amount of ether. So we're working on the ether item first. And so after figuring out how we could store and transport it by using the tanks that were originally going to be used for the Ragnarok, and then getting the permission to go to the Isle of Ham, which is our source. We cleared out the island, and we now have access to our ether supply. So, that is good to go. Now we just need access to the tower. And I guess to make whatever modifications or alterations to the tower are going to be necessary to transmit said ether to the moon. So, that is what we are going to get up to next. So, Eorzea, it is time to proceed to the next stage of your plan. Indeed. The tank's transportation thus arranged, our first task is complete. We may now turn our attention to the second. To wit, obtaining the blessing of the Ilzabard contingent to use the Tower of Babel to channel energy unto the moon. Our destination is Camp Brokenglass, where we may present our petition to Commander Lucia. Alright. Off to Camp Brokenglass. Ooh. Thing I need to take care of real quick. Aye, free company's reduced rates action was not active. It was maybe more expensive to teleport. Alright. Let's see what everybody has to say here. Eorzea? Glad am I to hear that Garlemald's restoration proceedeth apace, and the people no longer want for warmth. Be that as it may, there is no substitute for appropriate garments in such frigid climes, as I can personally attest. Yes, you nearly froze yourself solid last time. Varshan. Burger stole his advice. I have changed into clothing more suited to these surrounds, the better to blend in. I hope this will suffice. Yep. Zero. Here we are again. Indeed. Maxima, it's been a while. You are, as ever, welcome, Ayame. I do not believe I have met all your comrades. No. Alright, Lucia. I assume it's going to be a cutscene, but we'll go over here. Anyway. Allow me to personally thank you for assistance during the recent Void Scent incursion. Your action saved many. What brings you here today? Pray forgive us for not sending word in advance, Commander, but we seek your cooperation in a matter of great import. Alright, time to give another person the full rundown. Indeed, we appreciate you consulting with us instead of taking unilateral action. It is no simple matter to activate the Tower of Babel, and I speak only of the technological challenges. Personally, I think we must consider the emotional impact of such an action above all else. Pending a more official name, we refer to those who remain here as the Garlean community. As you would expect, they are predominantly native Garleans, most of whom are uncomfortable with ethereal manipulation. To compound matters, the trauma inflicted by anima is still fresh. If the tower were to suddenly light up again, it's likely to cause distress and reopen old wounds. Better that than facing a mass invasion by Golbez and his void-sent hordes, surely. Of course. We acknowledge the gravity of the situation, as well as the promised bloodshed should we fail to act. Yet, even as we were to convey your warning to the public, many simply do not understand the workings of magic or the rift. They will struggle to comprehend why they must be forced to relive personal horrors for the sake of something they cannot imagine. What's there to imagine? Haven't these people seen Void Scent with their own eyes? Let's suppose you encounter someone who is freezing in this cold. A natural thing to do might be to make them a fire, yes? What if that person's sole experience with fire was being badly burned by it, and they harbored an acute fear? Despite the benefits, nay the necessity of the warmth you offer, they may flee of it on instinct, or worse, misinterpret your actions for aggression and lash out. By the fire that torments this individual, the Tower of Babel torments the people of Garlemald. Yeah, we cannot afford to falter here. We must find a way to help them overcome their fear. Agreed. To that end, the contingent will assist however we can. We should speak with Alphino and Alice. With the rapport they have established with the Garlean people, I dare say they can provide us with valuable insights. Indeed. In the meantime, Eorzea, might I ask that you remain here to oversee the technical aspects of the tower's activation? Yeah, we kind of do need to figure out how the lunar teleporter works and then just, you know, build a new one and tear that whole thing down. Alright, where are we going? Oh, Tertium. Yeah. No need for a mount, actually. Alright, let's see what everybody here has to say. Starting with Vitra. I've taken the liberty of explaining our objective. Okay, well, hopefully we don't have to do another explain everything to the people here. 0. To dread fire even when one is freezing. To become a prisoner of one's fear. 'Tis a fate to which Void Sent 2 can succumb. I. Euless. Of all the things. Yeah. How'd I say? I knew you wouldn't be able to stay away. Alright, Alphino. Alright. I'm glad to see you, Ayame. Vitra has explained our present dilemma. There's no unfounded concern that the Garleans might take Poi to the reactivation of the Tower of Babel. That's putting it mildly. Many would be up in arms over it. Trust in the Ilzabar contingent is fragile enough. We need to tread lightly, or we risk jeopardizing everything we've achieved. Trust, again. Well, it seems to me there's naught for it but to speak with the people. Rather than harping on about the necessity of the plan, we need to lend an ear to their concerns. Then perhaps we can begin working toward a compromise. In that case, I'll take you to meet the community leaders. They're at a station called Sonatus near the Sonoculum Imperialis. I'll be honored to speak with them, though it would be prudent to learn where people might elsewhere stand as well. But that I will lead to the others. Save 0. Might you accompany me? I'm sure those in Tapper's Den will have their own opinions. Alphino, if I may drag you along. Tertium, we leave to you. You are no stranger to the people here, so it should take little prodding to convince them to speak freely. Then it's settled. Once you've learned what you can, let's all meet in Forum Solus, where we'll have what I hope is a productive discussion. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell my Chocobo to take a break. Alright, we got a bunch of people to talk to here. Let's start over here with a serious lad. No, stop it. The tower is evil. It'll turn us all evil. I don't want to hear it. Leave me alone. Yep. Fretting lady. Hi-fi. That tower isn't right, I tell you. All those magics. Years ago, when I lived in the provinces, the locals razed our village to the ground with the stuff. Made things appear and disappear and fly and burn. I can still see it when I close my eyes. You've done us a good turn, dear, but let's not talk about that tower any longer. It's unnatural. Alright. Malleus. Activate the Tower of Babel. Are you out of your mind? That abomination transformed my friends and family into monsters. I can't even bear to look at it whenever I step outside. If you want to do something for us, tear the bloody thing down. Well, we just fire it once and then tear it down. Alright, contemplative citizen. Tower of Babel? What that's... Well, what has got to do with Void Scent? I can't say I understand. Still, your people have done much and more for us Garleans. If you say it's necessary, then that's good enough for me. At least we got one positive voice. Papaya. Whatever its present state, the Imperial Palace was once the pride of Garlemald. I mean, no disrespect to you and yours, but shouldn't the Garlean people be its caretakers instead of foreigners? Though if we dared speak thus to some of the contingent, they might make assumptions, cut our rations, or worse. No, forget I said anything, please. No, that actually sounds reasonable. Like I said, we should basically figure out how the lunar teleporter works and then blow the whole thing up. Alright, where are we going? Ah, yes, Forum Solace. Alright, here we are. 0. Ulysses is on his way with the others. I hope you found the people more receptive than we did. A mixed bag. Oh, may I present you Lords Neas and Metius, magistrates of our political council. They have been spearheading the efforts to establish a new system of government here. When we raised the subject of the Tower of Babel, they insisted that we speak no further until joined by representatives of the Eorzea contingent. As the Alphino and LIC have yet to arrive, though, so perhaps we should wait? It doesn't matter if only some of you are present. We simply wish to make one thing perfectly clear. The tower is the manifestation of Garlean ingenuity and authority. It was once the abode of the Imperial family and will forever bear tremendous cultural significance. It is insulting enough that we have to suffer foreigners occupying it under the guise of rendering aid, and now you propose reactivating it? Nay, we have had enough. The Garlemald may have fallen, but she fell in civil war, to her own people, not to Eorzea nor any other land. We came here to assert our unequivocal claim to our territory. Garlemald, and all that lies within her bounds, is beholden to no one. Uphill battle. Alright. 0, your thoughts? Oh, not you. 0. There's no common ground to be found with these men. In spite of this, you would still engage with them? Oh, there is no common ground to be found with these men. Yes, I'm sure we can find something. Ulysses is eager to get out of the cold. Since their excellencies are resolved to negotiate with the contingent, I will escort them to Tertium. I'll also instruct Alphino and Alizé to meet us there. Lord Metius, Lord Neas, by your leave, my comrades and I would speak with the residents of Sonatus. Though the Eorzea contingent holds the Tower of Babel, it is I who wishes for it to be reactivated, and thus I think it meet that I be present for this discussion. Yet my understanding of your people's hardships, of their hopes and desires, of their dreams for the future, is sorely lacking. In my ignorance, I would struggle to contribute. Lest you worry, I will not plead our case to the community in your absence. I wish only to identify common ground upon which we might build a relationship that sees us overcome our differences. Very well, but know that the guards will not hesitate to escort you from the premises should they judge your actions to be inappropriate. If it's settled then, you should all head to Sonatus. I'll join you there after I see their excellencies safely to Tertium. Yep, they'll need to establish a government, then we'll need to establish formal diplomatic relations, you know, the whole nine. Alright, well, I'll be back when I'm there. And we are here. Alright, 0. Their defenses bespeak a cautious mindset, more so than Tertium. And Primus. Ulysses has told us all, you have Lord Neas' permission to enter and speak with our residents, but do not petition them directly for support. Remember that. Alright, Varshan. Here it is, Sonatus, a temporary refuge for political dignitaries, hence the tight security. I'm given to understand that outsiders are not normally permitted so much as a glimpse inside. We should consider ourselves fortunate to be given this opportunity. I hope it will be worth the trouble. As do I, Zero. As do I. Alright, go. So it's basically just another train stop. Alright. Basic design is reminiscent of Tertium, though somewhat embellished. Varshan? To begin, I propose we split up and ask the residents for their views on the Eorzea contingent and the current state of affairs. We would also do want to learn more about this enclave itself. Should you observe anything of note, please keep it in mind. It is through open hearts and minds that I believe we may yet convince their leaders to work with us for the greater good. Alright. Pelagia. You want to know what I think? I'm a soldier. I try not to think about politics at all. I'll say this much. Our leaders labor to preserve our culture, our way of life. What remains of it, at any rate. I trust them to do what's best for Garlemald. Alright. We have ceruleum barrels. You recognize the large casks as the very same you and your comrades used to transport ceruleum from Lapis Manalis. Why they are in Sonatus is unclear. Alright, where are we headed? Let's go this direction first. We have a pile of crates. The stockpile of assorted supplies bears markings indicating they were provided by the Eorzea contingent. The Enclave is clearly reliant upon the Alliance for aid. That's going to color any negotiations. Marcus. How do I feel about the contingent? Conflicted, to say the least. I've been tasked with distribution of supplies, and I know as well as any that we couldn't survive without outside aid. Be that as it may, even though the Empire has collapsed, we have our pride. People don't want to be beholden to others forever. And there's no denying that it chafes to see our benefactors occupying the Imperial Palace. Well, I say, why don't we let the Garleans have it? Finished touring the Enclave, have you? What were you able to learn? Much the same as me, then. They accept the contingent's help out of necessity and harbor a measure of resentment. They have only themselves to blame. If they don't like the bargain, they should reject it. How many times must I tell you it's absolutely out of the question? Somebody's yelling. What's going on? We were wondering the very same. We came running when we heard shouting. Is aught the matter? Oh, no, I was just trying to explain. Mayhap you can clear this up. The contingent has made a reasonable request, but this man insists that it's impossible. It concerns the Magitech weapons which run rampant through Regio Urbanissima. Every time we deliver supplies here, we have to dispatch extra men to defend against potential attacks. To address the issue once and for all, we propose the elimination of all machina that loiter near the supply route, but you heard him, they refuse to even consider it. The magistrates have already spoken on this matter. Rampant or no, those war machina are Garlean assets. Furthermore, who is to say they are as dangerous as you attest? It has been suggested that this could be a pretense to scavenge Magitech material for our own ends. I know not if that is the case, but the fact remains we cannot allow you to destroy them. More speculation by the magistrates, I presume. Ridiculous. But they have spoken, and unless we want to inflame tensions further, there's naught we can do. How complicated relations become when not grounded in a clear and equitable arrangement. An equitable arrangement. Of course! Well, I do understand the difficulty of your position. As a soldier, you must do your duty and obey your superiors. I have an idea, but I first must speak with Commander Lucia. May I take charge of this matter? By all means. Let's return to Camp Broken Glass, where we might discuss a solution I believe will satisfy all parties. Alright, if you got an idea. Sounds good. Alright, Camp Broken Glass. Alright, let's chat with everybody. Earnest Envoy. Who is this person again? You know, he's a, Elder Dragon, one of the first brood. Don't worry about it. Alright, Oriange. I have completed my inspection of the tower. Thou shalt be pleased to hear that the transference of ether will pose no difficulty. Good. Eulus. What do you suppose he has in mind? No clue. Alright, Zero. He seems awfully confident. And Varshan. Leave this to me, my friend. Sure. Lucia? You're returned with glad tidings, I hope. Sort of. Welcome back, all of you. I pray there have been positive developments in your efforts to appeal to the Garlean community. Not so much. Mayhap not yet, but there is a method by which I believe all stand to gain. As satrap, I intend to propose a trade agreement between Razat Han and the people of Garlemald. Please continue. The people of this nation have lived through its collapse and more, yet they have chosen to remain, for it is their home. They have been able to survive thus far is thanks to the Ilzabar contingent. Or rather, in less flattering terms, they are entirely at your mercy. Despite your noble intentions, this one-sided relationship has fueled feelings of frustration and resentment. It is no surprise, then, that some Garleans are loath to engage with foreigners, for fear of indebting themselves further, or surrendering more of their already limited autonomy. That's why I wish to present them with an equitable arrangement. One that will restore to them a sense of agency after having been forced to rely upon charity. Easier said than done. What exactly did you have in mind? Long have Garlemald and Razat Han abided by a treaty of non-interference. Freely have we traded with one another, and I wish but to continue in this tradition. We would provide your people with such supplies as you require, in return for which you would grant us leave to use the Tower of Babel, as well as share your Magitech resources and expertise. As we become more reliant upon your technologies, we will of course require more ceruleum to fuel them. This you possess in abundance, and for it you will be dutifully compensated. Razat Han's culture will be enriched by your Magitech wonders, and our ever-increasing demand for your wares will see Garlemald grow wealthy and prosperous. Only when both sides keep the interests of the other in mind can an equitable relationship be forged. The principle I once thought I understood, but have come to appreciate all the more in recent days, thanks to the sage counsel of a friend from beyond the rift. Your Excellency, thank you for your careful consideration of Garlemald's future. Though I cannot speak for every Garlean, I myself see no reason to object to your proposal. Indeed, if Razat Han were to take the initiative, other nations may follow suit and seek to normalize trade relations with us. If you see the sense in my proposal, then I ask you to join me in the negotiations at Tertium. Your support may be instrumental in winning over Lords Neas and Metius. By all means, go with them. I have matters here well in hand. I have learned all that I may regarding the tower's operations, so I too shall hie me to Tertium. Alright, sounds like a decent proposal. Let's go see what they think of it. Alright, Neas. Can we finally begin negotiations? Yes, we can, actually. A crowd you may have brought, but numbers will not intimidate us. The Tower of Babel is ours by rights, and nothing you do will convince us otherwise. Rest assured, it is not our intent to infringe upon the rights of the people of Garlemald. Let us instead discuss the future. As the satrap of Razat Han, I wish to establish a new trade agreement between our nations. The aid we presently receive will not last forever, my lords. Sooner or later, we must stand on our own 2 feet. To do so, we must secure a means to replenish our coffers, and the proposed agreement presents a rare opportunity. It is true we do not want for Magitech and Ceruleum, and foreign currency will be needed to procure such things as we lack. It would depend on the precise terms, but I can see the merits. What? I can't believe what I'm hearing. You serve the Emperor. We're a proud patriot. Now you entertain selling national resources like a common merchant? Like you, I weep for what we have lost, but if we are to rebuild Garlemald, we must make use of what precious few assets remain to us. Nonsense. Utter nonsense. You are a traitor, Neas, and there will be a reckoning. Oh yes, when the people of Sonatas learn of this, they will cry out for your blood. This guy's a problem. Lord Metius, wait. It isn't safe out there. Alright. Well, some progress, I guess. Maxima? I fear for Lord Metius. Neas. An embarrassing display. A man of Metius' station should have the capacity to keep his emotions in check. Apparently not. Petra? I'm thrilled Lord Neas was willing to consider my proposal. I'm worried about Lord Metius. Yes. Oriange. To the best of my knowledge, Lord Metius is a civil servant with no combat experience. Should he meet with misfortune, he may fare poorly. 0. I'm not surprised. Some people cannot be moved by mere words. Alright, Euless. It's far too dangerous for a civilian to be outside alone. We must go after Lord Metius. Let's leave matters here in Maximus' care while the rest of us join the search. If Lord Metius is bound for Sonatas, we'll be able to catch up to him in Regia Urbanissima. I pray he has not come to any harm. Alright, let's see if we can go find him. Alright, our search location is way over there. Alright, back. Alright, we're in the vicinity. In fact, there he is, being attacked by Rogue Magitech, as anticipated. All right. I'm alive? Yes.
Praise the sisters, you are safe.
Don't think I'm indebted to you. I never asked for your help.
Yeah, we gave it anyway.
You love Garlemald dearly, Lord Metius. That much is plain. But you're not alone in that. We all mourn what has become of our homeland. Bristle at having to rely upon outsiders simply to survive the cold. Even now, I struggle with fear and uncertainty. Day after day, I ask myself, what is right? Where do we go from here? I've yet to find the answers. But I won't stop looking nonetheless, and I won't avert my gaze from our grim reality.
Is there hope for us?
Aye. so long as we live. Garlemald lies in ruins, but the bonds between us will never be broken. We are the chain that connects generations past and future. You and I, it's links. Help us, Lord Metius, for all we have been and for what we may yet become. Please.
To be lectured by the younger, it ill becomes a man of my station. I will rejoin the talks at Tertium. Might I trouble you to escort me? Ere we part, I apologize for my discourtesy. I owe you my life, and I thank you.
Ulyss, wait. I'd like a word. With you as well. I'm to stay close, after all.
What's up?
Worry not, we shall see the magistrates safely back to Tertium.
What is it?
You bound that man with trust, didn't you? That's why he did not require coercion to return.
Still struggling to understand.
Shall we walk, perhaps? Chilly, standing around here. So that's how Zero came to join you. Still, I'm not sure I'm qualified to explain something like trust. I wouldn't describe myself as a sociable person. Before all this, any free time I had, I spent looking after my brother and sister. As for the magistrate, I only told him what's been on my mind of late. But I wouldn't have done so, I think, if it weren't for the twins' influence. Trust is infectious, in a manner of speaking. When someone believes in you, it makes you want to believe in them, in others, in yourself. Perhaps it's because the magistrate felt that earnestness that he gave us a chance. As I did, after I was caught trying to steal provisions from the enemy. Trust comes easy in such company.
Little wonder my world is devoid of it. No one trusts in you, and so you trust in no one. And round the wheel turns.
More flashbacks.
During the Contra Memoria, we had already come to judge one another based on strength and usefulness. You either used or were used. Those who rejected this rule didn't survive. My mother wanted to save the world, to fulfill the hopes of Memoria's good and true. After she died, I carried on her mission alone.
Alone? Didn't you have anyone to help you?
Almost. 2 men tried just the once. A swordsman and a mage, whom I met when passing through a village. They had saved the people there from corrupted Memoriates. When they learned our enemies were the same, they seemed heartened. They claimed to be soldiers of a kingdom called Baron, and were traveling the realm in search for means to end the Contra Memoria.
And it's an interesting set of armor that mage seems to be wearing.
They invited me to join them. I refused. How could I not, having learned the lessons of my world? Those who would work with others always have their own motives. I would not place myself at their mercy. I would not be forced to submit. I expected some manner of outburst, some show of frustration at having failed to deceive me. But they simply watched me walk away. I didn't know what to make of it then, but now, perhaps they shared a bond of trust. Perhaps they were the last ones left who dared. Perhaps they hoped I was like them too. Perhaps it was just an offer, and nothing more. I continued fighting alone. But ultimately I was undone, overwhelmed by enemies that had banded together. I was cold, in pain, wishing desperately that someone would save me. And as I lay there in solitude, I felt it happen. The breaking of our world. Darkness washed over me, and I was swept into the rift. When I finally managed to return, it was to a world forever transformed. My home, now filled with abominations. I had a chance to learn about trust, and forsook it. I never had the power to save my home single-handed. I should have accepted their invitation. Had I joined them as I've joined you, I might not have had to face the end of the world alone. But it's all history now. No amount of reflection or regret will change our present reality.
Whatever may have happened in the past, you're still here, Zero. Alive. So long as you're alive, there will always be hope, no matter how bad things get. What you couldn't do yesterday, you might still do today. Think about it. It's plain that you've forged bonds with those around you. If you didn't feel that in some sense, would you have risked your life as you did for a meager ration of boots? I trust you too, for what it's worth.
Here it is again.
Hmm?
The fire that burned in my breast when you came to my rescue. The urge to weep, though there is no sorrow.
I think that's called being happy.
If this is trust, then what must I do? How do I answer it?
However you like.
Give me your hand. It's not something you do constantly, mind. A friend is a friend regardless.
A friend. So that's what it means. Someone you trust.
There you go. Figured it out. Alright. Euless. Thoughts? When I first met Zira, I wasn't sure what to make of her forthright to a fault nature, but now I understand she is simply an honest soul to the core. Indeed. Alright. Zira. Thank you. I feel at last as though I found the answers I sought, and I owe it all to you and Euless. Right then. I expect the others have already arrived back at Tertium. We should join them. Let's see. I guess I'll take the pizza. We got quite the crowd. Well, glad am I to see everyone returned, and none the worse for wear. Various representatives of the Garlean community are gathered here this very moment. I dare say this is a fine opportunity to announce the trade agreement. You've read the memorandum. I trust you find the terms acceptable? I do. And Neas, I pray you forgive my disgraceful conduct earlier. I'm ashamed not only of my behavior, but of placing the burden of negotiations solely on your shoulders in my absence. I should know that when we brought up the subject of the tower's reactivation to the people at Tapper's Den, some reacted quite strongly. Once we explained that it would be to prevent another Void-sent invasion, however, they were more receptive. It's fair to say the recent episode is still fresh in their minds. I tagged along to deliver a supply of ceruleum. I have to say, I didn't expect to see such a large crowd. Even the stuffy Imperials who normally keep to themselves in Sonatus are here. My friends and countrymen, lend me your ears. I'm pleased to inform you all on this joyous occasion that we, the people of Garlemald, have entered into a trade agreement with Raz-dat-Han. To inaugurate our accord, we intend to grant the individuals before you access to the Tower of Babel. In return, Raz-dat-Han will provide us with supplies, which shall be equally distributed amongst the settlements of our nation. And let me be clear on one point. This is not an act of charity, but trade. A bargain stuck between equals, rooted in trust and respect, and it marks a significant step towards rebuilding our nation and regaining true independence. Raz-dat-Han holds Garlean technology and ingenuity in the highest esteem. It is my hope that, through this agreement, our peoples will enjoy a mutually beneficial relationship for years to come. Now then, we bid you gather around to hear the particulars, that you might convey them to those elsewhere. So burdened by hardship and trauma were the people of Garlemald that they were unable to imagine a brighter future. They were recognized as equals, as a nation with something of value to offer to others, and that validation alone is enough to rekindle their hope. It is by virtue of this partnership that we may access the Tower of Babel, rather timely development given the ether tank's impending arrival. Once the tower stores have been replenished, we need but await Ystola's signal to channel the energy to the moon, yes? And you can leave that and anything else on this end to me and Alphino. No need to worry. Devote all your energies to the mission in the void. As ever, I'm in your debt. You are good friends. All right. So we going to the moon? I would assume that we would be at the moon. Alright, but I think this is where we're going to go ahead and end this episode. And we will proceed with the plan. This is what I'm assuming we're going to be doing next episode. So for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.